Hi, my name is Ryan Opitz, and this is my presentation on my time at the Florida State Attorney's Office. Before I talk about my time at the office, however, I wanted to give you a bit of background about me. I'm majoring in political science with a concentration in law, and this is my third and final year here at Florida Gulf Coast University. I will be graduating in about a week or so. Something interesting about me is that this summer I will be visiting Spain, and as far as the trip is planned out, it's looking like I'm going to Madrid and Granada. So, for clarification, I was working at the 12th Judicial Circuit Court State Attorney's Office, which is ran by Ed Brodsky, you can see on the left, and is located in downtown Sarasota, Florida. I've been working with the misdemeanor section, so we handle the more frequent and petty crimes like battery, DUI, theft, and I've been working there since December of last year, so at this point it's been almost a year and a half. I found the job through my father. He was a bailiff with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, so he worked in the courtroom, and he got to know some of the people there over time. Eventually, he put me in contact with Craig Schaefer, one of the heads of the office, and after an interview with him, I started my internship. But Mr. Schaefer was not the one who I was working with on a daily basis. More directly, I reported to Forrest Sutton, one of the assistant state attorneys on the misdemeanor floor. While working with him, I mostly assisted with case intake. This meant that oftentimes I would look over new cases before he did so I could brief him on them. So to do this, I would look through the police reports, watch body camera video, and surveillance, and take notes on all of that. I would then come to him and give my estimation of how good of a case it was for us based on everything I'd seen. However, that's not all I did. I also helped prep cases for trial, meaning I would file documents for discovery, make contact with witnesses and victims over the phone, and draft any written documents and motions that we might need to present to a judge. My career goal is to become an attorney. I've now gotten accepted to Stetson University, and I will be attending in August. This internship directly correlates to that because I have practically gotten on-the-job experience in advance for the exact career I want to pursue. I do not have the full spectrum of responsibilities that a licensed attorney would have, but I do think I have a great deal of experience already. In fact, I would say I might have some more experience than some of the attorneys coming straight out of law school. Just the other day, I overheard someone explaining certain things to one of the new attorneys, and I realized, hey, I already knew all of that. So I hope that the things I have learned here will give me an edge in law school, and hopefully whatever career I wind up in afterwards. One learning outcome I am glad to have received is the ability to perform legal writing. Any document that is to be submitted directly to a judge needs to be carefully formatted in a way that is professional, yet also argumentative and convincing. I've gotten experience in legal writing because whenever our office needed to create a motion, Forrest would give the facts of the case to me and have me try and make a rough draft of one first. As time went on, my drafts for these motions became less and less rough. Another learning outcome has been my understanding of the trial process. Any case that goes to trial experiences a long journey through the legal system. I've been exposed to every step of this process down to the final jury decision. I have learned that there are actually many different paths a case can take and that the trial itself is just one option. However, once a case does progress to an actual jury trial, there are very strict procedures in place. By joining in on these trials and taking notes, I have been able to see and catalog the exact steps attorneys must take when they are in the courtroom. Along with legal writing, I have also gained proficiency in legal research. To support any legal document, an attorney must rely on case law. To research this at the office, I was provided with a temporary account to Westlaw, an online database that I will likely be using in law school. By utilizing the resource frequently at the office, I have learned what does and what does not work with the program. I found optimal ways to find the cases I want and preview their information in a timely manner. I predict that this will be helpful when I progress to Stetson and the time I have to spend on assignments becomes essential. At the start of each day, I would usually check in with Forrest. He would give me some things to do, and I would generally see him a couple more times that day to recap or discuss my information. However, when I started, it was not always the same. When I began the internship, I needed a lot more hand-holding. Almost 30 minutes or so, I would need to come to his office again to ask a question about something. As time went on, I became more experienced, and his mentoring style became more self-led. He would start to ask me what I wanted to work on, and generally, he would expect me to try to do a task before I came to him for help. I think by doing this, he caused me to start developing my own skills. By choosing what I wanted to do, I could improve areas that I believed were insufficient, and by attempting tasks on my own, I think I saw a faster development of my skill set. One of the biggest successes I had at the office was helping to organize our in-office mock trial. This was sort of a recreational activity, but it still provided me with some good trial experience. In the mock trial, me and another intern in the office were each giving an opposing side in a real criminal case from the past. We then had to research our sides and take our cases through the trial process. After doing that, we presented each of our cases to the rest of the office who played different roles, such as the judge, the jury, and the witnesses. The original idea came from Forrest, but me and him worked together to get everyone else on board. This was such a success because it gave me a chance to attempt prosecuting a criminal trial on my own, like I might have to do someday in the future. As far as professionalism goes, I think I help to inspire growth within myself by striving to experience every possible facet of the state attorney experience. On days where Forrest would ask me what I wanted to do, I would be presented with an option. I could either choose to do the easier work that I already knew how to do, or I could ask to do something a bit out of my comfort zone. A lot of the times he asked me, I picked something that I had never done before. I really wanted to experience everything I could now, so that I would not have to ask questions on things later in life, where my career might be put on the line if I were to make a mistake. Because I'm a political science major with a concentration in law, I see frequent overlap between the concepts of the state attorney's office and my upper level classes. Particularly, Dr. Ross's classes here at FGCU have seen a great deal of overlap. One example of this is the distinction between substantive and procedural justice. Substantive justice is when a judiciary body decides a case based on ethics. For example, at the office, we might say this person should normally have their license taken away for this crime, but they're a single parent and this is their first offense, so we'll give them some leeway on the punishment. Whereas procedural justice is when a court approaches a case from a strict set of circumstances. So at the state attorney's office, we could also say, well, this person is guilty of a DUI, and all DUIs like this get the same punishment. While procedural justice is more fair, substantive justice can be more ethical. This distinction is something I learned when I was first in the class, and I later saw in action. I would say the biggest impact this internship had on my career was giving me the ability to be accepted into Stetson University with almost a full scholarship. On my resume, I was able to put that I had experience at the state attorney's office, and in addition to that, I had gotten a letter of recommendation from my advisor, who's a Stetson graduate. While I cannot actually verify that these things are what made the difference to the admissions office, I'm sure that they didn't hurt. Other than that, the office has given me connections and skills that I believe will stay valuable throughout my professional life. Thank you for listening.